So it seems like a lot of you are really curious about how we learn best,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to dishing the old, the old school lectures and
Right.
trying something more hands-on.
Mm.
And I get it. You want to know if those approaches actually, make us want to learn more.
Yeah,
Not just
absolutely.
want to, but like actually learn better,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean, that's what we're really getting at.
Okay, so
The heart of it,
yeah.
the core of motivation.
All right, so for this deep dive, we're zeroing in on a few specific methods.
Okay.
Problem-based learning, PBL,
Right.
project-based learning,
PJBL.
PJBL, I like that.
It does have a nice ring to it.
It rolls right off the tongue.
It does.
And then case-based learning, CBL, and we really want to see how they impact, like how motivated students are.
Okay.
Does it actually make a difference? And luckily, we've got this really solid research to dig into. A meta-analysis, actually, fresh out of the oven from the Educational Psychology Review, February 2024.
That's right. Just came out.
So brand new.
This is really a big picture look here.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one study.
Oh, wow.
They actually took a whole bunch, 139 subsamples
Wow.
from 132 different reports.
That is meta.
It's really giving us a robust, overview of the whole
Yeah.
the whole landscape.
So basically, we're going to do the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah.
We're going to go through all this data.
Yeah.
We're going to pull out those juicy insights.
Absolutely.
And what we really want to figure out is how these, student-centered methods
Right.
actually affect what gets students fired up to learn.
Yeah, what really drives them.
Exactly. So think of this as your, VIP pass
Mhm.
to understanding all the key findings.
Yeah.
Without having to, read through tons and tons of research yourself.
Yeah, we're doing the hard work.
Yeah. Because who's got time for that? Nobody. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get down to business.
Right.
Motivation. What does it even mean?
Right.
I mean, it's got to be more than just, showing up for class, right?
Definitely. The way this meta-analysis looks at motivation is really, really interesting.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of built it around 3 questions. Almost like, every student's kind of asking themselves these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first one is, can I do it?
Okay.
Which is all about their beliefs.
Yeah.
What do they believe about their ability to learn?
Makes sense.
The second one is, do I want to do it?
Okay.
That's looking at the value they put on what they're learning.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one gets at the, the real deep down
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this task?
Okay. I like this framework a lot.
Yeah.
So let's unpack it a bit.
Okay.
The can I do it?
Mm-hmm.
What are we really talking about there?
So it breaks down into, 2 main things.
Okay.
You've got competence beliefs.
Okay.
This is where things like self-efficacy come in.
Okay.
Like how confident you feel that you can actually handle, specific tasks.
Yeah.
Can I actually do this thing?
Right.
And then there's also that expectancy for success.
Okay.
Do you believe you're going to succeed?
Mm.
And then the other piece is control beliefs.
Okay.
And this is, do you think your effort actually matters?
Right.
Can you control whether you succeed or fail?
Oh, interesting.
Or do you just think it's all down to luck?
Yeah.
Or, the teacher's mood that day?
Right. Totally. So it's like feeling capable, but also your effort actually makes a difference.
Exactly.
Okay.
You've got to have both.
So then do I want to do it? Mm-hmm. That's got to be about how much we actually value what we're learning, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It really gets to that task value.
Okay.
And there are a couple of angles to look at here. Interest value. How much do you actually enjoy this?
Yeah.
Is it interesting to you?
Straight up. Is this fun?
Yeah.
Do I like this?
And then there's importance value.
Okay.
And this is where it gets, a little deeper. It's
Yeah.
How does this learning connect to who you are as a person?
Right.
Your sense of self. That's attainment value.
Oh, okay.
If I learn this, does it make me feel like the kind of person I want to be?
Oh, interesting.
And then there's the more practical side, utility value.
Okay.
How useful is this going to be for my goals?
Oh, yeah.
My future career, that kind of thing.
Right. Totally. Okay, so we've got enjoying the process.
Mhm.
We've got seeing how it, connects to who we are and where we're going.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Last one. Why am I doing this task?
Right.
This is where we get to the nitty-gritty, right?
It is. It's the core.
Yeah.
What's really driving you.
Yeah.
And this is all about, is it coming from inside you?
Oh,
An intrinsic motivation?
okay.
Or is it coming from, outside pressures,
Yes.
rewards,
Yeah.
extrinsic motivation?
Okay.
So with intrinsic motivation,
Okay.
you're thinking about things like mastery goals.
Right.
You actually want to learn. You want to understand.
You want to get better.
Yeah. And you feel like you're in control.
Hmm.
Autonomous. You have a say in what you're learning and how you're learning it.
Right.
On the other hand, with extrinsic motivation,
Yeah.
you might be focused on performance goals.
Okay.
Grades, getting that validation.
Right.
And it's more controlled. You're driven by deadlines, fear of failing, those kinds of things.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we've got this really comprehensive map of what makes students tick.
Yeah.
So with all that in mind, when they looked at these specific learning methods,
Right.
PBL, PJBL, and CBL, what did they find overall?
Well, the big takeaway is that they all have a positive effect
Okay.
on student motivation
So that's a good.
compared to, the traditional lecture style.
Okay.
We're talking a small to moderate positive effect,
Oh, right. All right.
but positive nonetheless.
Yeah, I'll take it.
The effect size they calculated was about 0.498.
Okay.
So, it's noticeable, but it's not like
Not a night and day.
not a complete game
Either
changer.
transformation.
Okay.
But it's there.
So generally a good thing.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier that things get more interesting when we look at the,
Right.
specifics.
We start, digging into those different aspects of motivation.
Yeah.
That's where it really gets pretty fascinating.
Okay, so spill the tea. What did they find?
So they found that the impact on students' reasons for studying, that intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation,
Okay.
that was actually lower.
Then the effects on some of these other motivational factors.
Interesting.
It's still positive,
Okay.
but it was pretty small.
Huh. So, it wasn't a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's kind of surprising, though, right?
It is, a little bit.
Because you'd think, you're getting them engaged, they're solving problems.
Yeah, you'd think it would really, light that fire.
Yeah, that's got to get them intrinsically motivated, right?
Right, and to some extent it does.
Yeah.
But I think, you also have to remember that even with these more active learning methods,
Right.
they're still usually happening within a system
Yeah.
that's built on grades
Mhm.
and tests
Yeah.
and external evaluation.
Yeah.
So, even if the activity itself is super engaging,
Right.
there's still that kind of background pressure,
Yeah, that makes sense.
to perform.
Yeah. Okay.
It might be that, the tasks themselves
Yeah.
aren't always designed in a way that,
Purely taps into that, that pure love of learning,
right.
that curiosity.
So it's not like they're not, completely immune to those external pressures.
Right.
Interesting.
But on the bright side,
Yeah.
they did find some really encouraging effects on other things.
Okay. Like what?
Like their attitudes toward the subjects,
Okay.
especially in STEM and healthcare.
Okay.
They actually started to like these subjects more.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And their beliefs, too.
Okay.
Both the competence beliefs, like their self-efficacy,
Yeah.
and their control beliefs.
Okay.
That feeling of, I can actually do this, and
Yeah.
my effort matters,
Right.
and their values.
Okay.
They found that the interest value, how much they enjoyed the learning, went up. And so did the importance value.
Okay.
They started to see, why this stuff was actually important.
So they're more into it. They feel more capable.
And they see the value in it.
Exactly.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Can you give us some real world examples of what these changes, might actually look like?
So imagine a student in a biology class,
Okay.
and it's PBL, problem-based learning,
Okay.
and they're tackling some real-world environmental issue.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're working together, trying to figure out potential solutions.
Right.
And they actually find that whole process fascinating.
Okay.
And as a result, they start to get more interested in biology overall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or let's say you've got a student in an engineering class.
Okay.
And they're doing PJBL, project-based learning.
Okay.
And they're working on, designing and building a prototype, something real, something tangible.
Right.
And they succeed.
Yeah.
They build this thing, and it works.
Yeah. That's got to feel good.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Their belief in their ability to solve those kinds of problems just skyrockets.
That's awesome.
Or, you could have a nursing student
Okay.
in a CBL case-based learning course,
Okay.
and they're given this, really detailed patient case, and they have to analyze
Yeah.
it, come up with a care plan.
Right, right.
And suddenly, all that, theoretical knowledge they've been learning,
Yeah.
it clicks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is why this matters.
Right.
This is how I'm actually going to use this in my future career.
Right. That's so important.
So that importance value just shoots up.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure a lot of people are wondering right now, is
Yeah.
there like a clear winner?
Right.
Is one of these methods just like way more motivating?
Well, according to this meta-analysis, not really.
Okay.
When you look at PBL, PJBL, and CBL head-to-head,
Yeah.
they didn't find any big differences in overall motivation levels.
Interesting.
The one thing they did mention
Yeah.
was a difference in future interest.
Mm.
But even they said, that was based on a pretty small number of studies.
Right.
So, take it with a grain of salt.
Okay, so it's not really about finding like the one magic method.
Right.
It's more about recognizing that they all generally seem to do a better job than, the traditional lecture format.
Compared to that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for those who might not be like total experts on these methods,
Okay.
can you just give us a quick rundown of
Sure.
like what each one is really all about?
Absolutely. So let's start with PBL, problem-based learning.
Okay.
The key here is that it all starts with a problem,
Okay.
a real-world problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something that's messy,
Yeah.
maybe not super clear-cut.
Right. Right.
And the students, they usually work in small groups.
Okay.
And the instructor, they're not, standing up there lecturing. They're more like a facilitator,
Okay.
guiding the students.
Yeah.
And a really big part of PBL is that self-directed learning.
Okay.
The students have to figure out, what do they need to learn
Yeah.
to solve this problem?
Right. Right.
Like what knowledge, what skills?
Okay.
A classic example is it's called the Little Monsters scenario.
Mm.
They use this a lot in psychology courses.
Oh, okay.
And, the students are presented with a case
Mm-hmm.
of someone who has a phobia.
Okay.
And they have to, dig in,
Yeah.
figure out, what are the psychological principles at play here?
Oh, wow.
So typically with PBL,
Okay.
you start by, really defining the problem.
Right.
Then you do some research, maybe individually, maybe in groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you come back together and you have the debrief.
Okay.
You talk about what you learned,
Yeah.
how you solve the problem.
Right. So the problem is like the launching point for the learning.
Exactly. It's the driving force.
Okay.
Now, with PJBL, project-based learning,
Yeah.
it's a little different.
Okay.
Here, the focus is on the students working on, a bigger project.
Okay.
A real in-depth investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually takes a while.
Oh, okay.
It's not just, a one-day thing.
Right. Right.
And often it involves, creating something tangible,
Okay.
a product, a presentation, something like that.
Yeah.
So imagine, a middle school social studies class,
Okay.
and they're asking this question: how can we improve our local community?
Oh, wow.
And then the students actually go out
Mm-hmm.
and they design and implement a project.
Wow, that's cool.
Maybe they create a community garden.
Yeah.
Or they advocate for, a new recycling program.
Right.
And then they present their work,
Yeah.
to a wider audience.
That's really cool.
And a big part of PJBL is that student voice and choice.
Okay.
They get to have a say
Yeah.
in what they're working on
Mhm.
and how they're doing it.
Oh, so there's that sense of ownership.
Exactly. It's really empowering.
That's awesome. Okay, so PBL, it's all about the problem.
Right.
PJBL, it's about this long-term project with a real tangible outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And then what about CBL, case-based learning? What's that all about?
So with CBL, you're giving students these specific cases.
Okay.
Often they're real-world situations.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a story, could be some data,
Yeah.
a scenario.
Okay.
And the students, they have to use what they know
Right.
to analyze the situation,
Okay.
think critically,
Mm.
and then come up with solutions.
Okay.
So usually they prepare beforehand,
Yeah.
read through the materials,
Okay.
and then the learning happens through discussion.
Right.
A
Right.
lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
The instructor's there to guide them,
Right.
ask questions.
Yeah.
So, for example, maybe you've got a business ethics class,
Okay.
and they're looking at a case study of a company facing, an ethical dilemma.
Yeah.
And they discussed, the different perspectives, the options, the potential consequences.
Right.
Now, one thing that's a little different about CBL is that the students, they don't usually have as much autonomy
Oh, okay.
as they do with PBL and PJBL.
Right.
Because, they're usually working within the boundaries
Yeah.
of these specific questions
Right.
that are
Right.
related to the case.
Okay.
So it's still very directed.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we've got our three methods. We kind of understand, the differences between them.
Yep.
Now, I'm curious about this context piece.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what subject you're teaching
Yeah, that's a good question.
or, how big of a scale you're implementing it on.
Yeah, and it turns out it does.
Oh, okay, so what did they find?
So they found that the positive effects on motivation were bigger in healthcare and STEM. So science, technology, engineering, math,
Okay.
compared to other subjects.
Interesting. So why would that be?
Well, one thought is that in those fields,
Yeah.
it's just easier for students to see, how this connects to the real world,
Oh.
to their future careers.
Right, right.
And that makes it feel more valuable to them.
Totally. If you can see like the direct link between what you're learning and what you're going to do someday,
Yeah.
that's got to be motivating.
Yeah. And it's also worth noting that, PBL and PJBL, they've been using those fields, for a while now.
Okay.
So there's just more experience with them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe they're, a little more refined, more established
Yeah, yeah.
in those areas.
What about the scale of implementation?
Right. So they found something interesting there too.
Yeah.
They found that when these methods were just used in one course, the effects were bigger
Oh.
than when they were used across, a whole curriculum.
Interesting.
And there are a few possible explanations for that.
Okay.
Maybe there's a novelty effect.
Okay.
New, it's different,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
But then if it's used all the time, maybe that wears off.
Right.
Maybe it gets, a little boring.
It becomes the norm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's also the possibility that, when it's curriculum wide,
Yeah.
if it's not done really well, if there's not enough, support and planning,
Right.
maybe it just doesn't have the same impact.
Right. It gets watered down or something.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so a focused approach might be better.
Yeah.
I'm also curious about, the whole, making a product thing.
Right. Because that's a big part of, especially PJBL,
Yeah, yeah.
having that tangible outcome.
So you'd think that would be like a big motivator.
You would.
Right.
But interestingly, in this analysis,
Yeah.
they didn't find that it made a significant difference.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
And then educational level, like, did it matter if they were,
Right. Like K through
Yeah.
12
yeah, younger students?
versus college.
Yeah.
So they didn't find any significant differences there either.
Okay.
But they did say, younger learners,
Yeah.
they might need more support from their teachers
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
to really, develop those self-regulation skills
Right, right.
to be able to handle those, those more independent learning environments.
Okay, so the level of support, like, really needs to match the students,
Yeah.
where they're at developmentally.
Their stage.
Okay. Now, I know the meta-analysis also looked at, the quality of the research itself.
Right. The individual study.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They looked at that.
Did that play a role in the findings at all?
Yeah, it did, actually.
Really? Okay.
So they found that the quality of the measures,
Okay.
the tools they use to actually measure motivation
Right, right.
in those individual studies, that actually influenced the overall results.
Interesting.
So the studies that used, really good measures,
Okay.
like well-validated, reliable tools, they tended to find slightly smaller effects,
Okay.
a little more tempered.
Right, right.
And the researchers also mentioned that, some of the older research,
Yeah.
they used some older motivation scales
Okay.
that maybe weren't, as nuanced as sophisticated.
Okay, so, like, the tools have gotten better over time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's important to keep in mind.
Right.
It shows how important it is to do good research.
Yeah, totally. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here, like a lot of information.
We have.
But for our listeners who are, really trying to understand this whole motivation thing and
Right.
maybe even boost it in their own, classrooms or whatever,
Yeah.
what's the big takeaway?
So I'd say the key takeaway is that these methods,
Okay.
the PBL, the PGABL, the CBL,
Yeah.
they're good.
Okay, that's good.
They generally have a positive effect on student motivation,
Okay.
especially when it comes to, getting them engaged, helping them see the value in what they're learning.
Mm-hmm.